come straight into the game as he did, you know, with only a matter of a few months as a professional, and to compete in an atmosphere as we have at Sheffield, playing against the best players in the world, it's got to be the greatest performance of all time.
Terry Griffiths, professional snooker champion of the world. And behind that rather bold statement of fact lies one of the remarkable sporting stories of the year, and I think the most remarkable in the history of snooker. Griffiths had been a bus conductor, a postman, he'd sold insurance, and it was less than a year before the championships that he decided to play snooker for a living. He had to qualify to get in, but then on April the 16th, there he was in Sheffield's Crucible Theatre, up against the best in the world, including 3 former champions and the defending title holder, Ray Reardon. What happened, as the senior professional Fred Davis has already described, is that Griffiths put up the greatest performance ever. He kept people up late into the night, watching him on television. He became an overnight celebrity. And it's that performance against 4 very different players that we're going to see here with the champion himself. Well, he started off against the 1978 runner-up, second favourite to win the title again this time, the South African, Perrie, one of the most devastating potters in the game.
And that was a very good pot off the cushion rail there from the middle pocket. Well, he played for the black, and it couldn't have gone worse, really. Well, a very nice pot.
23.
The sort of shot that gets the audience on their toes.
$23 to Perrie.
But the South African was 4 frames behind, and unless he took this one, Griffiths was through. Moments later, he was virtually there.
$66-31. Difference of 35. So the situation now is that Perrie could possibly draw. There's 35 points on the table. But that is still a tall order, and Terry Griffiths will be well aware of that.
16 to Terry Griffiths.
And still Terry Griffiths is not able to relax one little bit. Oh, and this looks like a good shot. That is a beauty. No, well, and he's conceded the frame and the match. So Terry Griffiths win the match by 13 frames to 8.
And Terry Griffiths unable to resist a little victory salute as Perrie walks out of the championship. The Welshman was on his way, obviously relieved to come through his first ordeal in the Crucible. And at this stage, only snooker's most ardent followers knew much about him.
I started at the age of 14, which of course is 17 years ago. It's a long time, a lot of experience in the game, but of course it's been in the amateur field. And I didn't really play in the national tournaments till I was 24 years of age, which is quite late. And had quite a bit of success as an amateur player, which of course helped to carry me through into the professional game and kept my confidence up before the championships when I wasn't in any tournaments. And just practicing hard, but I always in the back of my mind that I done well as an amateur. It's nice to have success behind you in any sport, of course.
Who actually taught you to play? Was it your dad?
No, I was self-taught. I just picked the game up and really I watched the better players over the years and went out to watch a lot of the matches, watched the professional players whenever I could, and picked a lot of points off of them, and of course learned from my defeats. There's plenty of those.
What other sports did you play?
Played rugby at school, played in the same team as Phil Bennett, of course, the British Lions captain, and Derek Quinnell, who's the Welsh team captain now. Played in the same team as those in Coes Secondary School and for the school teams and things. But when I left school then, I didn't really bother with rugby. I like soccer and cricket. I like all sports really, but I haven't really played any of them. Snooker's taken up a big chunk of my life.
Don't get much time now, do you?
No, not these days. I don't know. No.
So you'd beaten Perrie next Alex Higgins. Now we remember him going off more like a rocket than a hurricane. Had that century break in only the second frame. Of course, by now your wife Annette had decided to come up to Sheffield from Wales. Did she know how you were getting on against Alex?
Well, she did. What happened? They knew at home, but my sister didn't tell Annette, my wife, because she knew, that she'd be worrying all the way up. Then what was happening? So my wife didn't know the score. She got off the train in Sheffield.
Marvellous. It was described, in fact, as one of, if not the greatest, matches of its kind, your match with Higgins. Alex, of course, everybody knows. He's a very flamboyant player. Does this tend to put other players off? Does it put you off, the way he storms around the table?
Yes, well he can. He tends to get these runs, and once he starts potting the balls, he just doesn't miss. He's certainly probably the most talented player in the world. If he could only, slow himself down, possibly, whether he'd be the same player. But he is a very difficult player. All the players, I think, fear playing Alex because of his talent.
And that Higgins talent was giving Terry Griffiths more than a few problems, as early as the third frame in the best of 25. The Irishman, fresh from his 105 break in the previous frame, was leading 22-0 here with another big chance.
He's missing very little this morning.
Nine. $16.
That's a good shot. Alex hasn't time to wait for the applause to die down. Blue into the top. And back now on the black.
28. Fine. 36.
He's a young man in a hurry.
44.
This red will reach the 50 mark.
50. 56. 57.
Now, what will he do with the three reds here? Those two, I imagine, are a plant into the top pocket.
64.
No, he's taking the outside one. And is the cue ball enough? No.
5.
Well, Alex certainly living up to his nickname of Hurricane.
71.
105 in the last frame. He's now on 71.
78.
Unfortunately, the brown sits on the side cushion.
79.
85 as he goes into the colours. And he's brilliant shot there, putting that brown over the pocket.
90.
A possible 112 here.
94.
And made almost in record time this particular 100 break. 99.
99.
Fabulous performance.
105.
Two century breaks in 2 frames, with Terry Griffiths not scoring a point in either. Higgins was in the mood that all his opponents fear.
Terry Griffiths breaks off then, trying to get them safe for the Hurricane. Great performance by Alex Higgins here at the start of this quarterfinal. That's a bad one.
Terry Griffiths. 1.
And a red is going very near the pocket, but it's all right. Gives him an opportunity of taking a red onto it. 112 break in the last frame in approximately 9 minutes. 105 in the second. Can we expect a third century in the trot?
11. 12. 17. 18.
'There's an additional £5,000 for a break between 143 and 146. Should the maximum be made, that £5,000 is doubled to 10,000. Higgins here has made 11 maximum breaks.
33.
He just can't wait for the referee to get him the half bud. Into the pack again.
41. 42. 45.
Oh, he's missed it. 45 break then. Terry now with the task in front of him. Higgins in devastating form. Complete contrast in styles, with Griffiths being very much the slower player of the two. The thinker. It's not there. And Higgins is off again. You want the half bat again, I think.
6. 7. 14. 14, Alex Higgins.
59 points to 1 and leading 2 frames to 1. 100 break in each of those 2 frames. Good shot. He's 52 points behind
6.
with 59 points on the table. An identical situation to the first frame when Alex went 50-odd points in front, and Griffiths here cleared the table to take the frame. Alex leaning on the screen in between the 2 matches, itching to get back at the table.
15. 22. 23.
He now has a very good chance of taking these remaining balls. At the moment, 35 points behind.
30.
Looking up at the scoreboard, his break is 30, and he's 28 points down. Still 35 points on the table. Gone a trifle too far for the blue. Higgins now relaxing in his chair, obviously thinking that Griffiths will repeat his first frame performance of clearing the table. "22 points behind and 27 on the table." Could have done with that a little stronger. This time it's nasty. He has to get up for the blue. Well played.
45.
Just requires the 3 balls now to make the frames all square.
50.
What a great match this promises to be. Griffiths here having done exactly this in the first frame to take it. Higgins, 105 in the second, 112 in the third, and here in the fourth frame, Terry Griffiths has repeated his first frame victory by cleaning up after Higgins had taken a big lead.
I sort of crawled back into the game, and of course I played well to come to 8-all. And the last session, what I can recall of it was it was just marvellous snooker all round. Alex played, and I played as well as I could really, and Alex did. And it's just a shame there was a loser at the end of that match because we both played so well. But
Did you feel by then that you were playing the greatest snooker of your life?
oh, without doubt, yes. Of course, it wasn't so much that; it's the greatest occasion of my life as well. You know, I never played in the World Championships against, of course, one of the best players in the world, who was playing his best snooker, and there was I up against it. But I knew all the time, as long as I could keep producing my snooker, I'd have a good chance. I think that's you've got to have your self-confidence. That is such a big thing, especially when you're down in matches, and you got, like I say, the best players playing so well against you. As long as you know that you can do the same thing if you get the chances, then you'll be okay in the end then.
The key to it all was the 23rd frame, 11-all, first man to 13 wins. Only twice in the match had Griffiths been ahead, and here Higgins was racing away again. 40 points on the board, Griffiths still to score.
That's opened the Reds, John.
Yes, and he hasn't got as far down the table as he would have liked. Alex quite fortunately getting nicely on the blue there into the corner pocket. This could well be the end of frame.
Six. 7.
Now 54 in front with Griffiths no score.
50.
Oh,
15. Alex Higgins.
Well, what a lapse there. The game on and misses a perfectly straightforward, easy, straight black. I think Griffiths will probably try to use the pink here to stay on the black. Screw as gently as he can into the pink to leave himself on the black.
1. Eight. 29. $16.
55 points to 16. Are we to see a repetition of the first frame of this match, when Higgins went some 50-odd points in front, and Terry Griffiths here cleared up and took the frame?
17.
There's a difference in the pace of their play, these two fellows, Ted. I think Alex would have had these three reds into the hole by this time.
Yes.
Four. 25.
"30 points behind at this moment."
Well, he's got the red on into the middle there, but I'm pretty sure that he played to go past that red to get the one into the corner. Anyway, everything looks still to be perfectly all right. Playing to screw back to the side cushion to come off for the black again.
33.
This is the identical shot that Alex Higgins missed, of course, unaccountably, that started this break going.
Alex watching. Now 8 points behind, and there's 6 colours to go.
And surely he must knock them in if his nerves don't let him down. All of them on their spots.
The brown takes him 1 point in front, but he's just come above the blue. He now requires the pink to win. All square, 11 frames each, and Terry Griffiths here. And that's it.
And despite the joy beginning to spread over the face of Terry's father, Higgins hadn't given up. But 2 frames later, he had to, because Griffiths had won 13-12 and was into the semi-finals to play Eddie Charlton of Australia.
And after I beaten Alex, I can recall I had a day off. I think it was 1 or 2 days off. Can't recall now, but just couldn't wait to get back on playing then against Eddie. Like I say, it was a very difficult match, and he was the bookie's favourite, of course, to win the championships as then, because Ray Reardon had got knocked out the previous night. So that put a bit of pressure on Eddie, of course, then. He knew that his chances now were better of winning the championships.
I just wonder what was going through your own mind. Had you at that state thought, well, I've done very well, I've got here to the semi-final, if I lose to Eddie Charlton, there's another year. Like you said originally, you were probably thinking at least 2 years ahead.
That's right.
Were you beginning to think that way?
Well, I was when I wasn't playing. When I was thinking about it, like I say, sitting back in the hotel relaxing, I thought, well, things have gone very well so far, and everything else is a bonus. But once I got on the table, you know, I wanted to win bad then. You know, it doesn't really matter what's happened in the past then. But it did enter my mind quite a few times that I was very pleased, of course, to beat Alex in such a good match and get the semi-final, my first attempt. And it wouldn't have been such a disappointment to lose then. But of course, that's where it helped me a lot against Alex and Eddie, because they were expected to win when I was quite happy where I was, and possibly I didn't fear losing so much. This is one thing I've always had within myself as a player. I take defeats well. I hate defeats the same as everybody does. But I think I can accept them a lot easier than some of the players. And of course the extra pressure is on them because they are the favourites to win. And like I say, when the winning post comes then, perhaps it's a bit more difficult for them to reach it.
Are you basically a nervous man? Because we've watched you a number of times playing snooker now, and the expression of agony on your face is quite often there. I mean, do you get nervous?
Yes, I get very nervous before the match and sometimes playing the match. But of course the secret is, as long as you keep your cue action straight when your nerves are bad, I think that's where most of the players fall down, especially in the amateur game. There's so many good club players around the country, but when they come in the matches, and of course at this standard, the pressure is intense. It's the highest pressure you can get in the sport. And as long as you can keep your action straight and pot the balls, no matter how nervous you are. And of course a little bit of nerves helps. It, you know, builds you up to when you're raring to go then.
Is there anything you do to try and sort of calm yourself down?
Yes, I've tried a lot of things over the years. I won't say individual things. When the time arises, when you feel a lot of pressure when you're playing, I try and just think of other nice things in life and sort of relax my mind. Well, my family a lot. But there was a lot of things in the championship. I was singing a lot to myself. That's one of the things. I was singing some Welsh songs to myself. And a few people have asked me that. But it did help. It certainly helped. Because if you try and concentrate when you're not on the table and when you're on the table for 2 weeks, it's impossible. So you've got to try and relax your mind. And like I say, I thought of the nice things in life, like winning the World Championships.
And Wales.
And Wales, that's right.
So this match with Eddie Charlton, what sticks in your mind with that one?
Well, it's I can recall playing well to start off with and going 10-4 ahead. And of course then I was a favourite. And it's going into the night session. I knew then I only really had to play reasonably well to win that match.
But it was at that time that I think, well, I know you turned to somebody and I was just in earshot and you say, I know, Eddie will play very well tonight.
Yes, I expected Eddie to go out. He's such a strong competitor. He never gives up in the game. And I knew he'd come out and play well. That didn't bother me. I think every time I go out and play, I expect my opponent to play well, because that's the way you've got to build your mind to play the game. Because if you expect him to play bad and he starts playing well, you've got a few problems. But as long as I could play all right, but of course I went out in the night and I was very, very tired. And my eyes were tired and I find it difficult to concentrate. And Eddie played so well, he didn't give me any chances really to get back in the match.
It was probably your worst moment of the championships, I think,
It
from
was,
physical
yes.
state.
Physically, it was my worst possible in the whole championship when I was 6-2 down against Alex. But physically, like you say, against Eddie that evening, I lost the first 6 frames on the trot.
Nothing going right for the Welshman. 10 frames all, and then this in the 21st.
Always missed it. Oh, if that had have gone in, that would have been curtains. And Charlton looks at Terry Griffiths as much as to say, well, you lucky blighter. And Charlton asked Terry to play again. Oh, and he's made the mistake. Well, Terry a bit saddened by that, walks away waggling his head. And Charlton, as solid as ever, surveys the situation. And you can't have a better chance than this. Well, it's a nice, simple little brown for the yellow. .42 Charlton, 55 Terry Griffiths. Charlton 13 behind and 27 points on the table and everything to play for. Well, I think the green here is the important ball. It isn't a hard pot, but he wants to drop nicely on the brown for this. Oh! Well, there we are. So easy. It's got to be a clip in now. And this isn't nice. If he misses this, he could well leave it in the jaws. And Terry will be wondering, hoping, perhaps saying a little prayer. Well, what a shot to have to play. And just look at that. He's still not out of the wood, though. 51, 55. Well, this is a tough one. It really is. Now, what is Charlton going to do? Is he going to go for it, or is he going to play safe? Well, it looks like a safety shot come what? I don't know. Well, he'll want plenty of run on that blue now. Well, Terry has a chance now. One good shot here. 4 points in the lead. Well, Terry Griffiths needs the pink to win this frame and take a one-frame lead on what has been a truly wonderful session. And he's potted it. Well done, Terry. A wonderful match. Two fine players have a shake of the hand and leave the arena.
Well, that was the first frame Terry Griffiths had won in the 7 played that Monday evening, the start of the second week of the championship. Just after midnight on Tuesday, Charlton was one up, 17-16, needing 2 to win the semi-final, and he's ahead here in the 34th.
A bad miss, that one.
Eddie couldn't believe it. Quite a simple shot there.
Well, the luck of the game, the attraction of snooker. That is to some. At the moment, certainly not to the Australian.
Terry Griffiths.
It's cost him 4 points, and he's now left 2 reds for the centre pocket.
One.
That looked like a good shot. Beautifully onto the red.
And just 4 points in it. Now there's an extraordinary shot. Still 4 points in it.
Well, that could be a very costly one indeed. Had the game on there, missed a very simple red into the middle pocket.
This time I feel fortune is on the side of the Australian.
Yes, he was a bit fortunate there, that's for sure. He missed that red by quite a margin and fortunately got a snooker from it. What a cruel game this can be.
How very cruel, as you say, John, these balls can be at times.
Forward.
The scores all square, 44 points each. I just wonder what is going through the mind of Eddie Charlton.
Six. Nine.
He's now 5 points in front. Requiring this frame to draw level for the 5th time in this semi-final.
Well, the crowd applauding there, but I'm sure he didn't intend that.
So the luck had come back for the Welshman, and his Australian opponent knew that he'd lost his chance to go 2 up, 1 from victory and a place in the final. Minutes later, Griffiths supplied the evidence.
He's looking at the scoreboard. He is, in fact, 14 points in front with just 13 on the table.
the black hard onto the top cushion as it is, it'll be rather difficult for Eddie to get a snooker.
5, Jerry Griffiths.
He's got to think in terms of trying to move that black away from the top cushion, but of course at the same time he must get the pink in a safe position.
Great shot. A great shot then from the Welshman. Once again brings the frames all square at 17 each.
Charlton lost the next, but then we all started to talk about his remarkable record of coming back from looking dead. He looked anything from beaten again here. And Terry Griffiths, for one, certainly knew all about Charlton's 1978 record, winning matches from 3 down with 4 to go, and even from 4 down with 5 to go. Now Charlton was 1 down with 2 to go.
Terry picks the bits of fluff, completely unconcerned at the moment, as Charlton sizes up the blue. 9 reds there. And finally, he decides on the brown. His score creeping up now to 48 points. Making sure there's some chalk on that 6-foot cue. No.
28, Eddie Charlton.
And he's upset about that one. 48 points to 0. Griffiths again with a chance of coming back. So many times Griffiths has been quite a long way behind, and at the latter part of the frame steps in. Nine reds to go then. And a rather unhappy Australian.
Yes, it certainly looked as if Eddie was going to wrap it up there. But now we've got it wide open again.
Pink into the middle.
7. Eight. 15.
Down to a difference of 33 points.
16.
And the margin now reduced to 25.
23. 24.
Our audience still glued in their seats. The time 1:30 a.m. Griffiths still creeping up.
30. 31.
'With this black, he will be just 10 points behind.
38.
4 reds to go now. and still completely unhurried. The difference reduced to just 2 points. Back for the black. And again, he comes to look at this red on the top cushion. Could this possibly be nerves?
Well, if it is nerves, Ted, it's certainly not stopping him from potting. Might be a little bit straight on this. Bit difficult to get up for the black, perhaps.
No hesitation whatsoever. Charlton must be thinking that fate has decided that he is not to don the world crown. A gentle screw back onto the last leg. His break goes to 62.
It's going to be another half-butt job, and this is precisely the instrument that got Eddie into trouble in this game. Missed a fairly reasonable chance that let Griffiths in for this break. Now, who knows whether history may repeat itself.
Checks the chalk on the tip.
Of course, he'll be playing this shot rather gently, and if he should miss it, he'll leave it right over the pocket. Now, safely in. And just the right angle to bring the cue ball down for the yellow.
22 points in front. There's 6 colours to go. 27 points on the table as we approach 20 to 2 in the morning. Terry Griffiths,
72.
31-year-old player, turned professional in June 1978.
Well, that brings Terry Griffiths 27 points in front with a mere 22 points left on the table, and Eddie surely must now feel that the sands of time have run out.
A dejected Australian champion. Griffiths adding up the scores. He can't work it out. 27 points in front and 4 colours to go, totaling 22 points. His first entry into the championship, having won 2 matches in the qualifying, firstly beating Bernard Bennett and then Jim Meadowcroft. In the first round, he defeated South African champion Perrie. A battle on the 25th frame, taking Alex Higgins. And now, to the roar of the audience, Terry Griffiths defeats the Australian champion to go through into the Embassy final at his first attempt.
Well, Terry, it's, what is it, 20 to 2 in the morning. I didn't think the clapping was ever going to stop.
Is it 20 to 2? Good God. A lot of people here, isn't there? Sorry. A lot of people here at 20 to 2, isn't there? I think a lot have gone home, haven't they? They missed a bit, I think. Oh, once again, you know, it's to win like that once again is a bit much again. Oh, that man, I thought he'd never lay down. Where's he gone? Oh, what character was that man? Blimmin' heck, I had him dead about 10 times, I think, and he just kept coming back all the time. Thought I'd never finish him. Whew. Played well in the last few frames. I just couldn't get my rhythm earlier on because Eddie stops you playing, you know. I'm in the final now, you know.
Terry.
It's just overwhelming. It's just too much really to accept, you know. And mind you, it's a time that interview probably was the one time in the championship that I remember more than any other one, I should think. Yeah.
Well, moving on to the final against Dennis Taylor. He, of course, had knocked out first Steve Davis, then 6 times champion Ray Reardon, and then John Virgo. Your match against him went to, what, 11 all, 15 all. In fact, on the Friday, you never really got in front, did you? But Dennis Taylor, I think, had more than a few chances to get away. Yes,
that's right. I was leading from the first session, and then after that, it was more really, Dennis was just a few frames up here and there, and had his chances really to pull away to 3 or 4 frames, which is a big gap. But from 15 all on the Friday, I was very pleased to get 15 all. And going to the last day on level terms, I played really defensive against Dennis up to then, because like I said, I was very, very tired. In the night sessions, I was finding it very difficult, the long matches.
But you came out like a new man on the last day.
Well, on the Saturday, I knew that this is the day, after 2 weeks' play, suddenly hits you, this is the day you're going to be world champion or runner-up. There's no other way. There's no other way out. I thought, well, I'm going to go out, I'm going to attack, which I did, and certainly came off. I won. Well, Dennis only won 1 frame on the Saturday, and I won, what is it, 8 or 9 frames?
Yeah.
So it certainly paid off. I went for the balls. I had the luck that went on the Saturday, certainly had. But I believe that if you do, of course, fortune and fears are brave in every respect, really. And I went out and potted some great balls and had a bit of luck when I missed. Dennis just couldn't get going, but of course he was on the defensive all day Saturday. And when he turned around and seen that cup that was up there on a pedestal, you sort of looked there and he thought, you know, this is the day. It's either like I say, world champion or runner-up, and there's only one place I wanted to be, I can tell you.
And at tea time on the final day, the 13th of this Embassy World Professional Snooker Championship, Terry Griffiths wasn't very far away from that place. Under the lights of Sheffield's Crucible Theatre, where by now he'd played 120 championship frames, this new snooker hero came out for the final session, leading 22-16 and needing just 2 more frames against his last opponent.
His opponent from Ireland, now resident near Blackburn, Lancashire, twice a losing semi-finalist in 1975 and 1977, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Taylor.
An Irishman looking for a miracle. But nothing was going to stop Terry Griffiths now, having won the last 5 in a row before the tea break. He took the first of this final session and needed just 1 frame for the Championship of the World.
The 5th black disappears.
40.
Dennis just watches.
$48. $49.
Well, I was just going to say that if he continues this way with the reds
56.
and blacks, there's a possible 131 on here. But he's got out of position a little now.
And the red stays right on the lip of the pocket. The break finishing at 56. Still 75 points on the table if Dennis can get a black with this red.
Six.
A sly glance at the scoreboard.
Dennis studying at the moment where the next red will come, the one after this one that he's putting into the corner, seeing the angle that he needs on the black to be able to get on the following red. Now he's played to get on the blue.
7.
will, I think, screw the cue ball up amongst these four reds to try and disturb them a little bit. Only managed to make contact with one. It's on, but awkward over the top of the others.
Playing this one left-handed rather than attempt to use the difficult spider.
Well, did it clear?
That shot could have given away both this frame and, of course, the final.
One.
The Welshman who lost the title. In the audience, Ray Reardon, watching a Welshman pick the title up.
Dennis Taylor now needing snookers if he's to win this game. And Terry Griffiths still in position on the reds.
Four.
There's just no stopping
11.
Terry Griffiths.
Well.
This, the 40th frame of the 47 frame Embassy final. And Griffiths here going towards victory. And the 24th frame he requires to call himself World Snooker Champion.
19.
And so the last red disappears, with Griffiths now some 73 points in front. A deep screw with a lot of side, but it's not quite hard enough, and Griffiths snookers himself on the first of the 6 colours, the yellow. He's not bothered about that now. Quite happy in his mind that he is to pick up the world crown, the trophy, and the first prize of £10,000. The highest break of the championships goes to Canadian champion Phil Werbenhoek, who had a magnificent 142. And Dennis Taylor concedes.
And that was the end of 13 days which had made Terry Griffiths famous and made him world champion. His name now added to the list of Joe and Fred Davis, Walter Donaldson and Horace Lindrum, John Pullman, John Spencer, Alex Higgins, and 6 times champion Ray Reardon. Now it was Terry Griffiths.
Well played, Terry.
And you'll be here.
The future.
You'll be here to have a crack at him next time, will you?
Isn't he got a loan of it? Good guys.
What's the ambition now?
Well, to win the championships again, I think once you've won the championships, I think only the people that's won the championship will know this. Once you've really won and know what's involved with being the feeling of being a world champion, you just can't wait to have another try and be champion again, whether it's next year or the year after. I just love to win the championships again. And of course, it's given me the opportunity to play in all the tournaments around the professional snooker circuit now, which I haven't had a chance before, and I'm really enjoying that side of it. But the World Championships is the one, and that's where they stand or fall, as they say, in the Crucible. And I can't wait to get back at it again and play. My ambition is, like I say, to win as many championships as possible and get possibly better than all the other players in the game. This is always, I think, everybody's ambition.
It's going to be very difficult for you, very different for you next time. This time you're there defending, and everybody knows you. Last time they said, no, it's Terry Griffiths, that's that fella from Wales. Is it going to be more difficult, do you think?
Well, possibly they probably will be they won't be calling me the Welshman this year. They'll be calling me Terry Griffiths. But I don't think I think it'll be easier for myself. Naturally, the players playing against me will feel more pressure because I am the world champion. Of course, being there once before and going through and winning, I haven't experienced defeat yet in the Crucible, which they tell me is quite hard to accept. This is a very big point in the game. Once you've had a defeat in that type of place, you know, you're so frightened of the next one. Of course, I haven't tasted defeat there yet. And next year, like I say, I played well there last year, and I hope I can play well there next year again. And don't see no reason why not. And well, if it's not good enough, I lose. But I certainly feel that the players going to come and take it off me. I'm not going there to win the championships. I've got the championships, and they can come along and take it off me if they want to.
Terry, you've given a lot of people a lot of pleasure. You've made Wales very proud, I'm sure. And I can say from us, thank you for the pleasure you've given us.
Thanks, David.